Hey fellow beaders, it's JP, and here is the earrings. I posted a picture of these in the Facebook group, but here they are. Here's what we're making today, and I guess I should come up with a name for these. I haven't yet, but they are a post earring. So there's the back, and I'm going to remove the ear backs just so you can see what that looks like. So the earbacks are actually just held in place by the beads. They're not glued in, but this is pretty secure. It's kind of like doing a bezel almost, but they're set. So the materials you're going to need 2 of the posts and 2 earbacks. So the ones I have are from Beads Landing. These are from Michaels, and the same thing with the earbacks. So Beads Landing, and they are from Michaels. Then what I have here are 4mm pearls. So you can use any type of bead that you want. I happen to use pearls, but you can use bicones, fire polish, any other type of round. So it doesn't have to be a pearl. So you could use Drux or like a faceted round, so like a Swarovski round kind of thing. So whatever you have. And then in the center here, used a 2mm pearl also. If you don't have this, don't worry about it. You can use an 11, you can use an 8. Both of those will fit in the center. You just need something that'll fill, there's like a hole in the center based on how the beads are made. So it just kind of gives it a nice finished look. So that's it. And then the last thing are some 11s. And so the ones that I'm using are Miyuki Round 11-0 Galvanized Yellow Gold. These are from Aurora Crystals, and so here they are. Everybody always wants to know. The pearls are also just from Michaels. They're just your basic white pearl, so nothing special. You can always use the ones from Swarovski, but let me show you what I've got here. So I got another package here. So these are it. They're also, I guess they're Beads Landing too, but these are what Michael sells. So I bought a couple strands of these, or a package of these, and this is like the red packaging. So this color is champagne. The one I'm using here is just white. I don't even know if you could see the difference. They're pretty close in color. Anyway, that's all you need. Also, you'll need about 2 feet or maybe 26 inches of Fireline. I use the 6-pound smoke. I use the smoke just so you can see what I'm doing and follow the thread path. In this case, you can also use the crystal color. But the purpose in my doing the smoke was just it makes it easier to see my thread as I'm on camera. Let's get started. So to start off, what you're going to do is pick up 8 of our 11-0 beads here, and then take your needle and go back through the beads. So I'm just going to push these up a little bit to get them back. And so, just so you can see, all I'm doing is going back through the beads. So that's it. What you're going to do is make a ring. And hold on to that tail end so that you don't end up pulling the thread out. So you get something like this, and I'm just going to go through a couple more beads. Or actually, before I do that, I actually am going to tie a knot. So my 2 threads are close together. So just a basic square knot. And one more time to get that secure. And you should end up with a ring like this. And I'm just going to go through a couple more of the beads and pull the knot in. So the knot should be out of the way now. Alright, so now what I want to do is add another unit, and so what we're doing is right angle weave. So this time I'm only going to pick up 6, and so all I'm doing is picking up 6 of the 11-0s, And I'm going to go back through both of these beads here. So just like that. And so each of your units should have 2 11s per side like this. So, and then go through them and you should have this. And in order to make the next unit, so basically we're making a 2x2 square using 4 units of right angle weave. So these are 2. And once again, I'm going to pick up 6, 11, so there's 4, 5, and 6. And again, go back through the 2 beads. Just like that. So though I have 3 made. So what I need to do in order to make this 4th square right there, I'm going to have to come out of these beads. So you just got to follow the thread along the path here. So go through those 2. Get the tail out of the way. And then the next 4, and basically I'm just getting into position, just moving my needle into position. Okay, so there it is. I know the units look all wonky, but that will be fixed in a little bit later on, so they'll look perfectly straight. So this time you only need to pick up 4 beads because you got 2 here and 2 on this side. And so I'm coming out of these 2. I'm going to go through these 2, and that should make my little unit. And just go back through these just to make this a little more secure and tighter. Alright, so you get this squash looking thing. And so this is the hard part. So I'm going to go through the next set of beads. And now I'm going to pick up my 4mm. So you can use whatever, as I said earlier, whatever 4mm you've got. So I'm using glass pearls, but you can use other types of round beads. You can use bicones, you can use fire polish. Kind of up to you. So pick this up and see how this is going down. The thread is coming down. So you want to go to the beads directly opposite of that set of beads. So that's going to be these 2 right there. So just note where my thread is. And you want to go down on that side too. There we go. Wanted to make sure you guys could see that. And your pearl will sit like so. Then you're going to pick up the next pearl. And you want the same thing. So this is going down. So I'm going to go directly opposite to the 2 beads on this end. So that's going to be this one here. And hold on so let me just turn. Okay, there we go. So this way I'm going to turn it back so you can see what I'm doing here. And I will move my thumb, and sorry about that. There you go. So the thread, as you can see, is coming out of those 2 beads there. I'm coming down in the beads directly opposite. So this is what you should get. Now what we need to do is get over to this side here. And so I'm just going to flip the work to the back so you could see exactly what I'm doing. And another reason why I used black thread was just it makes it easier to see against these beads. So I'm just going to follow the path. So I'm going to go into the next set. Then the set over here. So I'm going through 2 beads at a time. And over here. And then over here. So, and then I'm going to turn it back over so you can see we're kind of back. All right, so now we can add the next, we're in position to add the next purl. So I'm coming down and out of the thread here. So I'm going to go through the two here that are directly opposite. And just like so. And just make sure. And one last one. So again, whoops, get that. The thread is coming out of those two beads. You can see that there. So these are the two that I want to then go through. So they are directly opposite to the other two. And hold on, I will straighten this out so you can see this better. Okay. There we go. So now I'm just going to flip this to the back so you can just see this from the back. So each of my right angle weave units, you could see the little squares now. So what I want to do is add a bead to each, between each of these sets of two, just on the outer perimeter. And what I'm going to do is going to pick up an 11 and just go through these next two beads here. So you can see where the thread is exiting. So if I orient it this way, you can understand where I was. So the thread, I added this purl and I came down this way. And so now I'm just going into the next, I'm just coming out of there and going into the next. So hopefully that makes sense. And then again, I'm going to pick up an 11 and I'm going to go into the next two beads here. So here's where I'm at, going into the next two. And now again, I'm kind of turning a corner. So I'm coming out of these two and then I'm going to go up this way. So, and I'm going to get my 11-0 into that corner. So if you look at my bead here, it's basically, I'm adding this bead here on the beads in the middle and the beads at the corners. So once again, I'm picking up an 11 and I'm coming out of these two, I'm going into this next one here. And going to turn and we're going through the next corner now. So pick up an 11, so as you can see I'm coming out of those two beads there. And I'm going to turn the corner and I'm going into the next set of beads. Alright, there's that corner bead. Now I'm adding a bead in the middle of the side here. So those are the two beads that I'm exiting. Going into these next two right there. And I'm almost done. So this is the last side. I'm going to add a corner bead again. And then a middle bead. And we're back to the corner where I started. So if you take a look, you'll be able to see, and let me get that to focus better. I've added all the beads on this corner. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this tail thread just to get that out of the way. It doesn't get confusing. Oops, guess I'm not. There it goes. So for the next part, what you want to do is go through, so I'm coming out of that corner bead, I'm just going to go through the 2 beads that are right after it. And then, actually, I guess what I want to do is make my way to the center. There's these 2 beads here between the pearls, and that's what I want to do. I want to go into those 2 there. Alright, so I'm exiting out of these 2 beads between the pearls. And then I'm going to go into the pearl, actually, is what I want to do. So go ahead and take your needle and just go straight into the pearl. So this is where the pearl is connected to the base of the seed beads. So now once you're coming out of the pearls, then pick up an 11 and go into the next pearl. So pearl to pearl. Just like that, and then again pick up an 11 and go into the pearl. So basically what I'm doing is adding the 11 right on the outer side and connecting the pearls together, so it makes it a little bit more solid and they don't move around. And again, so I'm coming out of this part of the pearl, I'm going into the next. And last time, so only do this 4 times. So give everything a good tight tug. You want to pull this fairly tight to make it all sort of pop into place, and that gives it that nice shape and tightens things up. Now what I'm going to do is just turn this over, and again what you want to do is I'm going to turn it to the back, or see if you can, I doubt you'll be able to see it easily. So basically what you're going to do is, see this thread here, this is where the pearls are connected to the base. So you just want to follow that and go into those at the bottom. And what I want to do is actually come out of, so I'm coming out of those 2, I want to come out of these 2 in the center. And I'm going to go upward, like so. And so we're going to fill in the little gap here. So over here, so I added a 2mm pearl in the center, but you can also use a seed bead instead. You do not need to use, if you don't have a 2mm pearl like I do, which is, you know, it's kind of probably not a common bead people have in their stash. So there's my 2mm. I'm coming out of, there's 2 beads in the center here that I'm coming out of. So I'm going to go into beads directly opposite. So if I turn this over, you can see I'm coming out of these 2 beads. I'm going to go take the needle into that beads opposite. And let me turn this back over. So that helps the pearl pop into place in the middle, and just turn it so the thread isn't, give it a tug and you won't be able to see the thread. And that's it. There's the top portion of it. So now what I'm going to do is show you how to add the post to the back. But there's our front, all done. Alright, so we have to flip this to the back. And since I'm coming out of this set of beads here, I'm actually just going to go into these here, So I'm just following again, staying with the thread path. That's the thing with right angle weave. And then I'm going to skip over this corner bead. I don't want to go into that one. And I actually want to go into the next 3 beads and come out of the bead in the middle. Like so. So we're going to connect all the middle beads there. So, and you'll see what I mean here. So I'm going to pick up 3 of the 11s and I'm coming out of this bead and it pops out a little bit and I'm going to go into the middle bead over here. And your 3 seed beads, you want them sitting like this. And you're going to repeat this again. And again, you're going into the middle bead here on this side. So there it is there. So I've got 2 of these. I can hold on to the work. This is like tiny work. So there it is. I've got 2 sets of those. Pick up 3. And again, go back to this, or go through the middle bead here. And so I've got 3 out of the 4 sides done. And what I want to do is place my post, and this will be a little bit tricky because I want it to get the post underneath the set of beads. So this isn't very tight yet, so hard to tell, but let me go ahead and tighten that, and then when I add the last bit, the last set of 3, it'll get tighter. So again, pick up 3 and go into this one here. Alright, so now that and you want to try to get that to fit centered. Mine's a little bit big, it seems. But there's still one more step to do, so it'll tighten up here in a second. But this one side it's not sitting quite right, so I'm just going to play with it a little bit until I get that sitting. So I have got it now. So here's where my thread is coming out of this bead here. So I want to come out of the middle bead now of the set of 3 that I've just added in this round. So I'm going to go into the next 2 beads. So there's the 3rd bead, or the middle bead rather. Now I'm going to pick up 2 beads and go into the middle bead in this next group here, like so. And that starts to secure the post a little bit better. I'm keeping things a little bit loose, and I'm going to tighten in a minute. So again, pick up 2 and go into the middle of the 3 here. And again, you're going to pick up 2, go into the middle one here. Oops, looks like I've grabbed. And the last 2. Which is this bead here. So we're right back to the beginning. And then I'm just going to go through a few of these beads just to secure them. So that creates a nice secure placement for the post, and then you just go through the beads just to reinforce everything. And so it all starts to fit together nicely. All right, so I just need to go through a couple more of these. So now the post is very secure, it's not going to move, and I can go ahead and tie some half-inch knots. All right, I'm going to tie one here now that I've gone around a couple times. And tie another one over here. And all right, so that should be good. I've gotten a few knots in there. And grab my earring back. So I'm using one of these little extra ones. It's got the support. You can use a nut style back too. But there they are. There's the post earrings. Pretty straightforward. So, and then here's the back. Over here, post is secure. You can also glue it to the back of the beads if you don't. But I find that just making the little netting style type stitching should just get it fully secure. And so there you are. They're not too difficult to make. They're really nice and dainty. And I've got my little, so they're about, not quite, each side is about 1/2 inch, and then I guess diagonally, probably a little under 1/2 inch if I can hold on to it. Yeah, and then the corner, if you go corner to corner or diagonally, they are 1/2 inch. Anyway, I hope you liked this tutorial. I hope it was easy to follow along. I know it was a little tricky, but it's just right angle weave that's embellished. I mean, essentially that's what you're doing. All right, see you in the next one.